As I edge ever closer to a midlife crisis, I can't help but hark back to the days of yore, playing NES and Commodore 64 games to while away my evenings, rather than doing important things like studying or interacting with other human beings. The thing is, if I wanted to own all the consoles and games I played as a child, I would need to move my daughter into a tent in the garden, and my wife has already said no to this. Sadly, I can't afford a whole room dedicated to retro gaming, so instead, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a retro gaming console using a Raspberry Pi single board computer. Before I begin, it's worth pointing out that I'm using version 3 of the Raspberry Pi and not the newer version 4. In my experience, there are more third-party cases available for the 3rd gen version, and for this project the extra performance doesn't justify the higher cost of the newer model. For this project you're going to need a Raspberry Pi single board computer, a micro SD card, a power supply, a USB memory stick, some USB controllers, and a case for the Raspberry Pi. Any case will do, but I'm using this cool little version which is designed to look like the original NES. It even has a cool little flap which conceals the network and USB ports, as well as real power and reset buttons. It also includes a little daughter board which routes the connectors you'll need to neater positions when compared to a standard case. If you're looking to permanently place your Pi in full view, then I'd definitely recommend a case like this one, and you can find links in the video description below. The first step in this project is to download Retropie, a software package designed to create the ultimate emulation platform for a Raspberry Pi. You can find a link in the video description. First, install the micro SD card into your PC, then open the Raspberry Pi Imager tool and click the Choose OS button, and then click Use Custom at the bottom of the list. Then select the Retropie image you downloaded. Next, click on the Choose SD card button and then select the SD card from the list. Then click the Write button and the Retropie software will be written to the SD card. Once it's completed, you can remove the SD card from your PC and insert it into the Raspberry Pi. We are now ready to connect the Pi up to our TV via HDMI and to connect the controllers you plan to use. On first boot, you should see this screen, and you should be able to follow the instructions to set up your controllers to work with the software. Once done, you'll get access to the Retropie interface and, well, it'll all look a bit empty to be honest. Fear not, a whole host of different retro console emulators are installed and usable, but the interface will only show you the emulators for game files it can see on your system. And as you haven't installed any files yet, it's showing you a grand total of 0 emulators. The easiest way to get game files, otherwise known as ROMs, onto your Pi is to use a USB stick. I prefer to use one with an LED indicator for reasons that will become clear later, but any USB memory stick will do. The first step is to connect your USB stick to your PC and create a folder on it called Retropie. Next, plug the USB stick into the Raspberry Pi while it's powered on, and you'll see that the Pi begins to write data to the USB disk. When you see that the LED has stopped blinking, disconnect it and plug it back into your PC. You'll see that the Retropie has created a folder structure on the Pi into which you can drop your ROM files. Now, for legal reasons, I can't tell you where to download ROM files, but if you know how to use Google or are familiar with torrent sites, then you should be able to find decent collections of classic games online. Once you've dropped the individual ROM files into the folders created on the USB stick, you can then unplug it from your PC and connect it back into the Raspberry Pi. The LED indicator will start blinking again as Retropie automatically copies the ROM files onto the SD card, removing the need for you to keep the USB stick connected in order to play games. Once the LED indicator stops blinking, you can remove the USB drive and then from the Retropie menu choose the Restart Emulation Station option. Once you've done that, you should find that all the emulators show up on the home screen, and you can then navigate to the individual games for each system and play away to your heart's content. In my view, the experience is pretty awesome, with most game ROMs working fine from lowly Atari all the way up to original PS1 titles. That said, you'll need to make sure your controller has the prerequisite buttons to play a title, but there are plenty of different options available on Amazon, all with USB connectivity. And there you have it, guys, another Raspberry Pi project complete and another Pandora's box of nostalgia opened up. For further information on Retropie, you can check out the link in the video description, which gives further details on different ways to transfer games and has an excellent forum should you run into any issues. And that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you want to see more of this kind of content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers!